Hey guys, so I hope all of you are doing really great. So today we are going to discuss that what is the market situation and if the local bottom is in or not. So if you look at the market, you will see only bearish talks, and there is a and we should be rational. We should not be thinking that okay, so everybody like it seems that there is a lot of bearish talks and over bearish talks, and some people are getting over bullish because of the fear and greed index being 10 for a couple of days. So we have to look at the situation very rationally, and we have to understand that we have to be safe in this market. At the same time, we have to realize whatever best we can. So I don't know what are how everybody's portfolio is. Different people have different kind of portfolio, but I think at this point of time you should be 60 to 70% in Bitcoin stables, or a combination of Bitcoin stables and adverse situation Bitcoin stables and Ethereum. 30% you can be in altcoins, because let's say everybody is wrong. Let's say the bear market is not over and we just had a 1 weekly closure below 50 week SMA, and we are going to pump from here. So for that reason, one might keep some altcoins. So the best thing with altcoins is if they pump, they can really pump 5x, 10x, 3x, 4x in a very short period of time. That having said, we also have to preserve money. The reason why preserving money is very important in these markets is because let's say you go to the let's say you enter a bear market, and because we did not have a euphoria stage, so the 200 week moving average, which is generally the I will just show you, which marks the bottom of the bear market, is around 60 to 70k, because it is a moving average. So nobody can exactly tell that when we reach the 200 week SMA, the simple moving average, what will be the exact price of Bitcoin. But if we roughly draw the trend line, we can think that maybe 60 to 70k. It should be between 60 to 70k, primarily nearly 65. So the problem is, some people think that okay, it is just a 30% more correction. Let's see if Bitcoin goes from here to 65k. Let's say 65k, right? So it is just 27% more correction. So it is the correction is less than what it has already done. But the problem is, when we fall into this bear market category, the hopes of altcoin season goes away and people capitulate in altcoins. It is not Bitcoin. Bitcoin people, there are a lot of long-term holders, and there are a lot of people who know that Bitcoin has a fundamentals of a very strong project or a strong asset which is very similar to gold. So people are ready to hold it for multiple cycles. Even while going to bear market, a lot of people hold it. And it's not particularly very bad. It is not very bad about this thing, because when you look at a long time frames, because of the fundamentals, because of its whatever its principles are, it always outperforms the market, and on an average, it outperforms every other asset. So people might hold Bitcoin, but the problem with altcoins is, as and when people think that altcoin season, the chances is over, they get a perception, okay, so we are entering a bear market, we are going to we have to wait for 4 years, or maybe 6 months, or maybe 1 year. So what happens is people start capitulating, and when they start capitulating, the prices of altcoins demolish. They get obliterated, they get completely destroyed. And because the market caps are so low that even a 1 million liquidity pull can make some coins go to 80% down. Or let's say some micro cap is there whose market cap is $2 million. 1 million gets pulled away, 50%. And the liquidity is even lower. The liquidity pools are even lower. So you might say that the market cap is 2 million, but the liquidity pool is less. So with lower liquidity, the money needed to bring a coin 80% down is even more. So I'll just tell you some examples also. But before that, that is why I think in these kind of times, we must preserve our capital so that when we finally get into those bear zones, the bearish flip to the bullish side, we can re-enter and we can preserve that money. This is called cutting losses. And people get sad, oh, I don't want to sell in loss. But the point is, if you don't sell in loss sometimes, I'm not saying that you should do that, but sometimes if you're overexposed in the market and you do not cut losses when you know that the market is going down, so what happens is you get another 80% correction. So whatever money you still have got left in that particular project, it gets to a point where it is very less. Then you need 10x, 8x, 12x, 20x to break even. You need an all season to break even, which is something we do not want. Now, does this mean that we should sell now? I don't think so. My point is, whenever you get the next bounce, if you are overexposed in the market, you can de-risk. This is my opinion, this is my idea. And talking about myself, my portfolio, so I have two portfolios. One is a long-term portfolio and one is a trading portfolio. So in my trading portfolio, I have around 50% USDT and to be honest, more than 50%, and then 20 to 30% Bitcoin, and lastly, I have 20% in altcoins, so that, and that is also narrative wise, let's say 3%, 5% in gaming, 5% in AI, 5% in RWA. So that is what we are looking at. And now let's see where is the 200-week SMA. Simple moving average. So if we are indeed entering a bear market, of which I think the chances are pretty high, but I don't think, because we did not have a euphoria stage, I don't think the situation is that bad that we are going to see something like 2022 when Solana went to $9. That was because a lot of euphoria, that lot of greed was there, and people expected that, okay, the cycle has changed. That time also people were saying that there is no 4-year cycle, this is a old concept, and we are going to be rallying in 2022, which did not happen. Of course, the monetary policy was turning bearish, the interest rates were getting high, and the US had started quantitative tightening, and the markets were very frothy. So one thing I want to tell you, let's see, this is the historical Bitcoin chart. You can see the 200-week moving average is generally the bear market low. We have seen in 2018, then we saw in 2022. In 2022, it actually fell lower than the 200-week moving average. But you can see June 2022, the fear and greed index was 6. And that was almost the bottom. Let's say it was as 22,000. And then it went to 15,000. But the good thing is, this does not make that big difference. Suppose somebody bought at 22,000 and then they sold at 126. Of course, they cannot sell at 126, but partially. Let's say they sold something at some amount in 60,000, some at 80,000, and then some in 100,000, and then lastly some at 120,000. So they are in a very good profit. More than I think on an average they must be up 400%. So this is something we need to do and we need to remember. So let's draw this line. Right now the 200-week SMA is 55,000, and let's say we have some pumps in case we are going into the bear market, in case, which I hope we do not go into the bear market. I hope we get weekly closures above that 50-week moving average. But things do not look very good for that to happen. The US stock market is decreasing. The macro situation, the Japan 10-year yield, and interest rates are also not coming. So that is not very positive. So let's say conservatively we are entering a bear market. So let's say somewhere around mid 2026 you reach, and then this average, let's try to draw a line where let's see how it can go. So by July 2026, this average will be around 65 to 66,000, and let's say we get a low in October. So then the chances of it is around 70,000. Of course, this is a moving average, so it can change depending upon the price action of Bitcoin. But since Bitcoin on longer time frames is not very volatile, so, and this is a very long term 4-year. So what is 200-week SMA? It is around 3.8 years, which is why it does not change very frequently. See, the markets pumped so much here also, but the 200-week SMA did not parabolic way did not go up. So this is what my point is, that we have to look at this. And now let's say we have a pump and around 110,000 somewhere, and at this point altcoins also increase along with Bitcoin, and in case you are overexposed, you can de-risk some of that. If you still believe the bull market is on, fine, you can convert it into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, generally altcoins start outperforming Bitcoin when it crosses the all-time high, and then it starts consolidating. Then the market generally, then the altcoins outperform. Let's say something like this happens, right? And you get something like this, and let's say you pump here, and then you finally cross these all-time high, and then you start consolidating like this. So this is when all seasons happen. This is when all seasons happen, and this is what we have to look at. But until and unless that point is reached where we very sustainably and very strongly break these all-time highs, I think by the next, at this point, we can de-risk from altcoins. Now, this is not financial advice. This is not what I want you to do or I suggest you to do. This is what I could be doing, because if we are going to the bear market, I do not want to keep holding altcoins. I do not want to risk my money where the chances are, the risk reward ratio is very, very bad. The risk is very high and the reward is very small, because if the market actually pumps and we cross these all-time highs, there's always chance to enter. Maybe some altcoins have done 50%, 100% pumps, but these altcoins go to 10x's. So I'm okay with not getting 10x's, but I have to preserve my money. I'm okay with 5x's. So that is the point, right? This is what I think. So okay, now I'll just show you what else we are looking at. Now the thing is about altcoins. When could be a good time to enter altcoins? So like I mentioned in my previous videos, total 3 minus USDT upon Bitcoin is the altcoin Bitcoin pair chart, and this chart suggests that when we are potentially entering into a bear market, right? So I'll just remove this brush, and see, this is the alt season, this rally, and then this is the bear market, or you can say the Bitcoin cycle. This is not completely the bear market. The bear market ended here at this point, but altcoins kept bleeding to Bitcoin because the altcoins outperformed Bitcoin approximately in a 1 year, in the 4-year cycle. Unfortunately, this cycle we did not see that, because monetary policy was not with us, because the macros were not with us, which is why Bitcoin kept outperforming. Also, we did not reach to the range lows. See, in 2021 we already reached in September 2019, then we reached in June 2020, and then finally the third time we came here, we had a small fake out, and then boom, we had a pump, and then here we kept around almost 1 year, and then from there onwards we are slowly bleeding, and still now we have not reached. Still now we are at 0.38. So my target is this level, 0.25. this is the crucial zone where altcoins generally start outperforming Bitcoin. So this is something we need to keep in mind. This chart is actually something which works, and we have to look at it from a rational point of view. This is my opinion, and because preserving money is actually as important as making gains, because you cannot keep putting money always and forever. The reason is nobody has unlimited money. Plus, if the markets are not supporting, if you keep DCAing into a coin and it keeps bleeding, you keep losing your money. It does not matter how much money you have, because if you keep losing, when you want to finally make gains, the prices are so you are in so much loss that you need to break even. You need a 5x, you need a 10x. That is my point. So whenever we reach to these range lows about 0.25, I think that would be the moment when you would be little bit comfortable that okay, now altcoins are oversold in oversold territory as compared to Bitcoin, especially the large cap and both the small cap. So you can keep something like, let's say you have to keep a portfolio of 100%. Let's say you keep a portfolio of 50% for altcoins, and from that 50% you want an allocation. So you can keep 60% in the blue chips for a low risk portfolio, 20% in mid caps, and 20% in low caps, depending upon your risk appetite, depending on how much you want to risk. So it always depends on every particular investor, how much they want to invest, what they want to do. But sometimes what happens is, if we do not de-risk, we tend to capitulate. When the markets are not showing anything, you keep losing money, you keep worrying, you keep saying that your portfolio is every day getting 10% down, 15% down, 20% down, and you try to bring more money and then that money is also going down. Then you finally say, okay, no, this is scam. Those people were right, and this is an echo chamber where people keep talking about the things are going to pump, but it never pumps. And then you can finally calculate, and that is when actually the markets start pumping. You can go and see the November 2022 videos, and you can see that I saw a video of Miles, who is a crypto banter guy, who was a crypto banter guy back then, and he was making a video on Solana in $10.5, and he was trying to say, it is still not that bad, and we may get an entry. He said that, okay, I'm not making an entry right now, but he was trying to speak a little bit optimistic about Solana at $10.5, and everybody was abusing him. Everybody, because people had calculated, they were in so much losses, they were painful, they were in pain. And I think that is the time when smart money enters, because smart money is not greedy. People who are rich generally get more richer because they feel that they need to preserve their money. And when they preserve their money, they invest at a very low risk time. Then when everybody is fearful, the market is very much in the bottom zones, and people are trying to say that, okay, is it finally the bottom? Is it finally the bottom? That is the time when markets actually pump, and that is the point when we gain a lot. So let me give you a positive side of the picture. Let's say the bull market is over. But because we did not have a euphoria stage, we did not have an alt season, I think the market is going to dump less. And when we reach this 0.25 level, then you can start allocating into altcoins in a dollar cost averaging way. And then you can finally build a position. And when you are getting from bear market to bull market, that is when you make very good gains. Another thing, some people are saying, okay, so we have to wait another 4 years for the market, for the alt season. But this is not true, guys. This is not true. Because we did not have an alt season this cycle, and the monetary policy is improving, we are going to see an end to quantitative tightening. We might see money printing also, easing also. So maybe we do not need to wait that much for all season, because the alt season is due. And when we reach this 0.25 level, what happens always? You can see this. October 2017, when we reach this 0.25, we pumped. We went to 1.3. Then again, 21, we reached just 0.25. Then we pumped again to 1. Thrice. But this cycle, we did not even bleed enough. You can see XRP is overvalued. A lot of coins are overvalued. Cardano ADA is overvalued. These are the blockchains which nobody is using. Nobody is using Cardano ADA. Let's not fool ourselves. Nobody is using a lot of layer 1s. Even Sui, you can say. Even say, you go to DeFi Llama, right? You see, except BNB, except Solana, except Ethereum, not a lot of chains are being used. This layer 1 fiasco which we saw, that so many layer 1s are getting abandoned. We saw Cadena. So what is the use of making a lot of cities when we do not have a lot of people to live in, right? So this is an analogy I want to give. You can see Ethereum. What is the 24-hour fees? 993, right? 1,000. What about Solana? 547,000. What about BSC? 461,000, right? And then Tron, I don't believe, because the problem is there is no DEX volume. This is only of stable coins. Base, what about Base? 231. But after that, see, there is no chain which is having any good 24-hour revenue. Plasma, $2,000 revenue. Arbitrum, 74,000. Hyperliquid, 29,000. Avalanche, 32,000. Polygon, 33,000. Sui, 43,000. Aptos, $2,000 revenue. How can you have $1 billion valuation when you do not have even a $2,000 revenue? This is just empty ghost chains, ghost blockchains, right? Linea, so many layer 2s have been launched, so many layer 1s which are of no use. Mantle, $1,000 revenue. Optimism mainnet, $6,000 revenue, right? Bera chain, you see a lot of Bera baddies, $900. So Starknet, so many VCs into this, $9,000. Say $570 revenue. Are we serious? So this is why I'm saying we have to see that altcoins, first of all, if they do not reach 0.25 or 0.3, let's not try to catch the bottom, but 0.3 to 0.25 could be a range wherein you can start looking into entering altcoins. And with that, best case scenario will be if Bitcoin reaches 200 week SMA and all Bitcoin pair reach 0.25 or 0.3. What will be good with that? The best thing with that would be that we do not want to invest in altcoins outperforming Bitcoin when Bitcoin price is going lower with US dollar. What do we want? Let's say, what is the ideal case scenario? The ideal case scenario for an alt chain is the Bitcoin price is going up and altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. So let's say altcoins are going like this. That is an alt season. If this reaches to 0.25 but Bitcoin is still bleeding, so what happens then? So that is something like this. Bitcoin drops and altcoins drop a little less. Something like the here. So Bitcoin bottoms, altcoins bottom. So we do not want this 0.25 range when Bitcoin is going downwards. We want altcoins to outperform Bitcoin when Bitcoin is going upwards. So this is my point, right? So we have to understand this, and this is my point of view with the market. And like I told you what I have done and what am I doing, I'm trying to stay heavy in Bitcoin, little bit in Ethereum, then in stables. And if I get a chance, if we have a double confirmation, 2 weekly closes below 50 week moving average and the signs are as bearish, then I would like to de-risk when we have the next pump. And we do not go down in a straight way. we do not go down, like you are not reaching $70,000 to $60,000 straight, right? You do not go like this. No market dumps like this. You always go like this, something like this, right? And maybe here one more drop, and then you start pumping again. So this is what happens generally. You can see the older cycle, right? Bitcoin did not go directly down. So what happened last cycle? Bitcoin dumped, then it pumped, then it dumped, then it pumped, and then bigger drop. This was when the fear and greed index reached 6, and this was almost a 200-week SMA. And then we had another drop when FTX collapse happened, and then finally we had the bottom, and then we started pumping back. See, even when pumping, you do not go straight up. You get a lot of downsides when you can buy. October 24, we were 50,000. Then also we have made a very good rally. This is my point. Even if you want to de-risk, there you are probably getting an opportunity. It is not very wise to de-risk. Of course, it is your portfolio. You can do whatever you want. You can de-risk right now if you want. But you always get a pump back above. And then at these points, if you want to de-risk, you can de-risk. And de-risking is, again, a multiple ways you can de-risk. Some people get into stable, some convert completely into fiat, some into little bit Bitcoin, little bit stables. So that is your point of view. This is not financial advice. If you think that, okay, we are getting an all season and I want to be completely exposed to all altcoins, I want to be all in, then you can. Of course you can. That is, of course, everybody is free, and everybody uses their own I would say whatever they are looking at, some price action, their feelings, different charts. But this is what I want to tell. I want to be very open here. I do not want to be a moon boy. I do not want to be a very bearish man also. I want to be rational. I want to be somewhere in between. I want what the chart is telling me, what the longer time frame charts are telling me. That is what I am looking at right now. Again, we talked about this RSI level, which has also broken. You can see this RSI has broken. This was not broken in the complete bull cycle, but now it has gone down. So again, this is another sign which I'm looking at, which I do not feel very positive about. Now let's look at the 50-week moving average, and what according to me is a confirmation of a bear market. So I'll just convert this into 50-week. So see, the dump has been really bad. We have closed the CME gaps. That has been filled. So I think from the 89,000 range, which is right now we are around there, 90,800. I think if we need to have a pump, I think the local bottom could be in. There's a good 70 to 80% chance that the bottom is in. A lot of longs have been liquidated. And on the other hand, because of the bearishness in the market, a lot of shorts have been open, which market makers need to liquidate because they do not have unlimited money. The exchanges do not have unlimited money. So I think the bottom could be in, the local bottom. Now, what we need, according to me, for a confirmation that okay, this was a fake out and we are still in a bull market. So we need to look at this blue line. This is a 50-week SMA around 102,621. We need to close above this and then have pumps. This weekly closure. So today is Tuesday, depending upon your time zones, I don't know what day exactly it's, but by Sunday 12 a.m. UTC, we need a weekly closure above this range, 102,000. Otherwise, if you look at previous bull markets, very high chances are that the bull market is over. Now, are there any exceptions? Yes, there are. But that was the COVID crash. You see this, but that was a black swan event. But I don't think that kind of scenario is right now. So to be very moon boyish and think that, okay, because it happened in COVID crash, we do not have a war. We do not have a COVID crash. We do not have a black swan event. So comparing the older chart and only a single chart of a black swan event and saying that no, everything is, the chart does not say a story. So that is a high risk as per my opinion. And if you want to take that call, okay, good for you. That is always, and everybody can be wrong in a market. Nobody knows what is going to happen, but the charts sometimes help us to at least take a rational decision, take a calculated risk. We are in these markets, we all are taking risks. So this was my ideas, and like I said, eventually again I want to say that even if you want to de-risk, whenever the next pumps happen, you may de-risk as per your portfolios, as per your point of view. You might convert to Bitcoin, you might convert to stables, you can keep being in altcoins partially. This is not financial advice, but these are my thoughts, what I would be doing and what I have been doing. I've already in past few months, whenever I felt that we are going to get lower, and I was looking at this chart from a long time. I made a video also when alt season. So my targets were 0.25 in alt Bitcoin pair. Whenever somebody asks me, because this chart really tells you the story, we have not yet bled enough. So my point of view was, this is a good time for altcoins. Before that, we have to be very careful. So these are my thoughts, and I hope all of you are doing really great. And stay safe, be rational, be active in the market. Don't run away from the markets. Even if you're de-risking, be active, look for new narratives, keep trading a little bit so that you do not lose interest, because sometimes we do not lose a lot of money while trading, but our interest keeps there. So when the markets actually give those opportunities, like Solana going to $9 or Chainlink going to $3.5, by that time, but when it actually reaches, you should not run away from the market. You should not be away from the market, the bear market. So that is my point of view. That is why I have also started making more videos, and that is why little bit trading, little bit losses, little bit profits is fine with a very small percentage of portfolio, 1 to 2%, so that you do not lose interest. Maybe you get a new narrative, maybe you get some information, maybe you get some alpha. So even while going to bear market, stay active in the market, guys. These are the time where actually you make exceptional money. These are the times, the bear markets are the time wherein you gain you have a lot of gains. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 7 to 8x, 7x from the bottom. So if Bitcoin can give you that much, if we reach this 0.25, you have to understand altcoins can also outperform. So I would say, be active in the market, stay safe, preserve capital, and thanks for watching and happy investing.